What is going on, everybody? Applersky here with a kind of out of nowhere walkthrough that I'm doing for Nobody Wants to Die. This game's been on my radar ever since it was announced, and it's kind of like right up my alley for a game that I knew I was going to like. But pleasantly surprised, I didn't know it was actually coming out so soon. Barely found out a couple days ago. So I immediately jumped on and started a blind playthrough, platinum trophy walkthrough. So the way it's gonna work, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be basically you're gonna be experiencing the game for the first time as I am, right? So there's no guide. I don't have a roadmap because I don't look at guides. I just kind of make my own, especially when it's a brand new game. What I do is I look at the trophies. There's 27 in total. I kind of read them to see, maybe where in the game that they would fit or you can unlock them, and I attempt to unlock them. Now, with this game, it probably is going to require more than one playthrough, because it does seem like there's choices in the game, and it says it affects the story. So I'm assuming there's multiple endings and probably trophies tied to those. Okay, so just be aware of that. But other than that, there is one way, and you'll see when it happens, that I was able to unlock two different trophies for doing two different things by just kind of reloading my save, and you'll see that coming up. So I don't know how many more opportunities I'll have throughout the game. Like I said, this is a blind walkthrough, but we will achieve the platinum by the end of this series. It will be a shorter series as far as videos than I did with the Tomb Raider walkthrough, because there aren't really collectibles, you know what I mean? So this first part is quite long, and I edited it down to as much as I can, but I'll timestamp where the trophies are if you're just here for that. And with that being said, let's get into this game. Also, you're gonna hear me probably pause quite a bit, because even though this is a trophy walkthrough, it's also an actual gameplay walkthrough. So there's a lot of dialogue. So during specific dialogue parts, I'll probably stop talking and pick it back up. I haven't fast forwarded through anything. It's there, there's a lot of talking and decision making, and choose your own decisions. So if you want to follow what I do, go right ahead. But there's a couple of dialogue options that it'll give you a prompt saying, this will affect the story. So feel free to choose your own path. This is me playing the game for the first time. And so far, I'm loving this game. I have a feeling it's going to be a sleeper hit. So.
Any lapsed subscription payments will result in your body being submitted to a bailiff auction. And remember, any and all violations will be prosecuted by the Department of Mortality.
Already know who the murderer is?
That's not the point.
And at least tell me what's going on.
Just watch, okay? This is the best part. Grace questioning the suspect.
And when are you gonna question me?
You want me to question you?
Don't you want to?
Should I handcuff you? We always handcuff suspects.
I think you'd better.
Sounds dangerous.
I'm always dangerous.
Too bad you didn't warn me before we got married.
Would that have changed your mind?
What if it had? Where do you think we'd be now?
I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have.
Huh?
units, code 305. Prohibition violation at intersection of...
Breaking news. The president today signed into law a controversial bill reducing the age limit for free body subscriptions, despite earlier promises to the contrary.
Fucking politics.
Alright, so this is actually a missable trophy that you're going to see here. Basically, you need to interact with everything in the car, which is the earpiece, the pills, which is ambrosia, which is kind of cool. That was like an old remedy, and I really love the style of this game. The noir, cyberpunk noir style is like something I've been waiting for to come out in this style, like a detective Blade Runner almost esque, but it has, you know, that actually kind of looks like Deckard's gun from Blade Runner, but it still, for whatever reason, it kind of maintains that old school 60s aesthetic, even though it's far into the future, which I think is really, really cool. Very much Bioshock.
Sent you the papers?
Oh, I know. I'm looking at them. You hear this?
Fuck! What are you... Don't tear them up! Fuck!
The accident was barely 2 weeks ago. Look, the committee already thought you were a hot mess. Trying to come
Also,
back this
don't
soon,
worry here,
that's just got 'em
that
convinced.
call happens
You know,
automatically,
fucking medical miracle
so it doesn't
chance.
lock you out of the trophy. You still get some time to analyze all the object.
Chief, we've been busting our humps in the same department for half a century. You know I know this fucking job like nobody else.
And you know I've got your back, too.
Come on, Chief. You gotta let me come back.
My hands are tied. Officially.
Yeah? So unofficially, I'm all ears.
Political case. Discreet.
I'm listening.
You'd be doing a favor for a guy whose signature trumps every test and commission out there.
Why do I feel like there's a butt coming?
Because you're fucking difficult. Also, without your sync tests, can't get you back in the system. So I'm gonna put you with a liaison officer. She'll be the one with full access.
A babysitter? Fucking hell.
You asked for it, Sunshine. Wait, I'll put her on.
Alright, so before opening the door, make sure you... So we already did the pills, we did the gun, we gotta do the moonshine right there. The wipers, the windshield wipers as well. And I don't think it matters if you... The objects that you can interact when he talks, they'll have a little bit of dialogue. I'm not sure if that matters, but I did it anyways, just in case. So the paper is another one. You don't have to read it all. I read it all because, you know, it's my first time playing it, and I very much want to know what the world is like. Some background lore. So then, yeah, don't forget that one. That one was kind of hard to spot.
Another 100 fucking years of work and taxes. Great.
Also, if you guys have ever watched Altered Carbon, it's kind of... I think they got some inspiration from that, where you can basically... If you haven't seen the show, it's far into the future, and everybody has what they call sleeves, which they transfer their consciousness into a new body when they die. Very similar here, but also done in a different way. The last thing is this bobblehead looking thing here. I kind of look at it for a while because it has a baseball bat, and that's another thing too about this game that really caught my eye, and it wasn't from the trailers, it's from playing it. Is obviously the developers big baseball fans, because there's a lot of baseball references in the game. So right there, first trophy, Restless Hands. Once you pop that, then you can open up the door, and this is where The music kicks in. That just looks gorgeous.
That's for the brave
Unreal
new
Engine
world.
5.
So immersive you could drown.
I mean,
But of
what else
course,
is there to
drowning's
say?
forbidden.
The aesthetic here
Blocked
is
like any other
just
exit from paradise.
completely.
Kara?
I don't know about
James?
you,
Kara?
but this is
No,
a
fuck that.
kind of game. Like I
No
said, I've been
way.
waiting
Forget
for
it,
like
Chief.
You're already
a
on the
Blade
line.
Runner-esque
James.
detective style game
John.
for a long time, and
Sarah.
there's a lot of
James
inspiration of Blade
Let me
Runner
go
in
pull some
here.
strings.
You see that hologram down there? Very much Blade Runner style. The big hologram,
good stats up to now.
flying cars, the
thrilled to
rain,
be working with you too.
What can I say? Your reputation
but also with
precedes you, especially
you know,
after
the
you
music
fucked that
reminds
city
me of
with that
LA
train.
Noir. I mean, any kind of noir really. Even some Max Payne influence, I would say too. Some of the dialogue, the way he speaks at certain times.
That's it.
Of course. Guys like you get away with bloody murder.
Guys like me. What's that supposed to be?
As if you
Also,
don't know. As if your
I will
MLB
be
career
once I
makes
finish
no
the game.
difference at all.
Hey,
Uh,
I've carried
I will be
fucking
putting
badge
out
for
my
the
full
citizens
review
before
on
your
it too.
parents were
So
Okay, I'm back.
keep an eye out for that one, because
Sarah,
that might actually
Sarah,
come
I sent you all
in
the honor
between
instructions. Forward the
videos of
package,
the
Lieutenant.
actual platinum guide, depending
James,
on
no need for bragging.
how many trophies I end up
Show,
needing at
don't
the end of
tell.
my playthrough.
It's not your
So.
out.
All right, let's get the show on the road. I need the address of the nearest post office.
Fine. Did you know there used to be rooftop bars in the city?
Yeah, till they figured out open spaces make desynchronization
Also,
symptoms worse.
I am still going to do the Beyond Good and Evil Platinum Trophy walkthrough. That's a much more meatier game when it comes to trophies, because there's a lot of collectibles and stuff. So I got a couple of parts ready to upload, but I kind of wanted to like wait and do like the first 5 parts at once. So that still is coming. I haven't wavered from that either. So just for all you returning subscribers and watchers, that still is on the way.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about how they make such awful food.
A lot of this I probably could have edited out. I just
whatever happens.
I was trying to soak in the whole world,
The
and
post
I figured,
office?
why not have you guys kind of follow along with me or
Looks
enjoy it
like
with me for the first time.
ES-45-7.
Or, if you're on the fence and you haven't
You're in
bought it,
Times
this
Square?
could be something that tips you that direction into getting the game.
Last place they play good old-fashioned crime stories.
See, like that
Yeah.
right there, for
You
some
like
reason,
watching other
that
cops
was a
used to do it?
dialogue choice that
Detectives, not cops.
affects the story.
Big
I haven't
difference.
seen any
I'll take your word
effects
for
yet,
it.
or
Okay,
know
movie
what
buff. Go
what
for the
does
package.
what, right?
Platform
So
53D,
I'm learning
Terminal 3.
just as much as you guys are. So this part coming up here, this part like literally almost gave me the same feeling as the first BioShock when you first enter Rapture. Like it almost gave me the chills, and that could just be me. But very similar here. The music starts to kick in,
It's better than inactivity.
and you start to see the full city moving through. It's just incredible. It's just very well done.
120 years old, and I don't have any strength left to keep recalling the past.
Look, James, we got off on the wrong foot.
Hey, people love me. That's just how it is.
I want you to understand, I'm in the home stretch for a fat promotion. I've been working my ass off, so I can't afford any mistakes right now.
And, you know, you're sort of notorious for unconventional methods.
Me?
Oh, come on. Everybody knows you don't give two greasy rat shits about regulations. The only thing I ask is that we act professionally, okay?
I'm willing to give it a shot. No promises.
Great. Better than nothing.
That's the spirit.
This obviously somehow is going to affect the story too, in some way.
5 o'clock somewhere.
I'm about 4.5 hours into the game right now.
Hey,
I see
Sarah.
another baseball
You know why the
reference.
cops got
Of course,
called
I
to the
chose it.
baseball game? Somebody stole second base.
Oh, for fuck's sake, James. Dad jokes?
Stupid joke. But I appreciate it. Little things like that. Also, another impressive thing about this game is that this is... So the developer is Critical Hit Games, based out of Poland, which is also a baseball reference. If you follow the sport, Critical Hit, you know, that's that's a straight baseball reference, which is kind of odd because they're from Poland. But it also makes me happy because, you know, baseball's getting known outside of the U.S., which is cool. But this is their debut title. Like, they have not made a game ever. This is their debut title, and so far, I mean, I can't tell. First thing I do, any first-person perspective game, I always look down, see if there's feet. Kind of a stickler for little details like that. I think every first-person game you should be able to look down and see your feet.
Enter your full name and shipping code.
But yeah, if you were to tell me
77112.
this was their first game, I wouldn't believe you. It's so far, right? Like,
Additional verification required.
and
Enter
for it
badge
being only
number.
$25,
No authorization.
I've already gotten my money's worth.
Sarah, I need
It's,
access.
I highly recommend it, and I'm not
Enter my
even
number.
done with the game yet.
116739.
Thanks. 116739.
Thank you. The package is on its way. We hope you enjoy it.
Have you opened it yet?
1 second. I have to move my car.
Very well done. Very well animated. The rain looks great. I mean, from what I can tell, they presented the idea to Epic to be able to use Unreal Engine 5 or have like full control of using it, because they were given a grant to create the game, which means Epic believed in them. So I guess that always helps when you have, you know, the creator of Unreal Engine, you know, backing your product. You know, some people use the term walking sim for these kinds of games. I don't know. It's to me, like, okay, I don't have a problem with the word, like, you like to describe a game, you know, walking sim, whatever. But what I do have a problem with is people skipping out on games that don't have combat or whatever, right? Like, this is a very much narrative-driven experience. You're a detective. Like, not all games have to have combat. You know what I mean? And besides, when did the walking sims become a bad thing? There's some great games from the past that are, you do less. Like, you literally, all you do is walk, and they're great games. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Subject's name is Edward Green.
Who?
Hard to confuse this mug with anybody else. Green's sponsoring some kind of exhibition in Central Park. Saw it on the news earlier.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Let me look it up. Yep, supposed to be in a few days.
We'll have to get back on his feet pretty damn fast then.
Okay, Green, Edward. Oh, shit.
Sarah? You okay?
Shit. Oh, I'm reading up on Green. Holy fuck, you know who this guy is?
Cold feet. Back out.
No, I'm good. What are we supposed to do?
We get in, pull the Icarite, deliver to the Consciousness Transmission Center. No sweat.
You're telling me the Covenant Chief, the guy who used to be the Secretary of Health, his Icarite's just lying around in a dead body? Fucking hell! Why isn't this going through official channels?
It's a favor for Chief Steiner.
What's Chief Steiner got to do with Edward Green?
Guys like Green have been shaking down
This
the
part
city for 2
gave me a little
years.
Mission Impossible
Last thing you want
vibes
is the
too.
wrong people putting hands on their
This
Icarite.
message will
That's where we
self-destruct.
slide in. Play this right, we'll come off like heroes. Well, heroes to the right people, anyway. Look on the bright side. I'm betting Green's gratitude hits the gas on that dream promotion of yours.
Where's his body?
Fifth Avenue, top floor.
Looks like it's Green's own apartment. You'll get a chance to see the wannabe Olympus with your own eyes.
Want to tag along?
No. I'm not authorized for field work.
At the moment. So, what's the harm?
No, I couldn't. That would be unprofessional, especially on a case this important.
Unprofessional, right? All right, I'm all up to speed.
Then let's get on with it.
Attention,
believe
documentation will be
This
automatically
is
destroyed.
after this part is the first trophy should unlock. Maybe
James,
it's a story related trophy.
You're not
You
reinstated
you
yet,
get it
but
for completing this
have
section.
you recovered from the accident? Like, mentally, I mean?
You looking out for me or for yourself?
For both of us. We're
Also, I
we're in the
appreciate
same boat, right?
Listen, you just kick back and put your feet up, all right? You've got nothing to worry about.
conversations
I'll ping you when I
between
get
him and Sarah.
there. Car out.
It seems like they don't like each other or whatever, right? But it evolves as the game goes on and becomes really cool, realistic. More pills, huh? Doesn't seem to be doing the trick. Yeah. So with that, you should pop. Dark City. So two trophies down out of 27. One missable, one
Even though
non.
political cases fester like rust-laced wounds. I was off to hang out with high society, of which I always.
I love these
low
little in
opinion.
between chapter
Maybe because it consisted mostly of low people.
voiceovers with those neon drawings. It's really, really cool. Very good art. Alright, so now
The air was so clean.
we're in our first
I was beginning to
case.
suffocate.
And right here, you can actually. I love that too. The way when you go to a new area and it shows that with the music kicking up where you're at. It's really cool. I look around a lot in this because I'm very much like when it comes to brand new games. I look through every nook and cranny because you never know when something could be a trophy.
James, camera.
And I tried to edit out as much as I could without losing
An accident.
perspective of what we're doing or
What do you mean
missing
the
out on
last?
any like optional dialogue.
Last?
So that's why this version, along with me learning the game mechanics of
Let's
the
pull
detective
the
work,
and get out of here.
that's why it runs a little longer. Second part, I've already got it down to 30 minutes. So right here, you have the opportunity to earn 2 trophies, right? So just
You really got
she
caught,
tells you to take a
didn't
picture of the corpse,
Well,
but just
still
walk
gonna need a
past him.
photo for identification.
Don't engage with the corpse just yet. what we're going to do is we're going to earn 1 trophy and then reload the save and get the 2nd trophy. And you can do this in either order. Basically, you're going to grab these documents here, and you get the option to leave them there or
He was
burn them.
clearly trying to get rid of those.
And
Didn't
both
make it.
of those
Someone stopped
actions unlocks a trophy. So the first time I leave them, and I actually read it too, because I mean, documents are there for a reason. It adds lore to the game. And if you notice, his whatever list this is involving, his captain on the force, is his name's on that list. So you get cold case for leaving them, and as soon as you get that trophy, you're gonna want to quit out, go back to the main menu, and then just continue, and it'll start from the beginning of the mission again. And we'll do the opposite this time. I chose to burn the documents and continue my playthrough from there, but I have a feeling it's going to change some sort of outcome. So it's up to you, whichever order you want to do it, but you can earn both trophies here real quickly, so, you know, why not take advantage of it?
James, camera. This was supposed to be an accident.
Fucker's hanging from the last cherry tree.
What do you mean the last? Like, last?
Mm-hmm. Let's pull the Icarite and get out of here.
Also, utilize that hint mode
Really got cooked, didn't he?
as much as you
Well,
can,
I'm still
because
gonna need a
I
photo
think
for
the reason I was
identification.
struggling to learn some of the mechanics or taking longer than it should was because I wasn't utilizing the hint mode to find specific things, right? Like, and you'll see what I'm talking about once you start to use the gadgets and actually do the detective work, which is a really cool feature. Probably, you know, it's probably the standout feature of the game is the actual tools you have at your
Trying to get rid
disposal.
of those. Didn't make it.
Or someone stopped them.
I like how this part's cool. Once he lights it on fire. Oh. Boss's name is on there.
Them to
Nope,
disappear.
don't think so.
That was evidence! For fuck's sake, James! Who do you think you are?
Those
What gives you the
particle
right to
effects.
just do
Looks
whatever
great.
you want to do?
Hey now, don't be envious.
Oh, fuck.
So, fire starter. So that's 2 trophies so far in the level. Another thing that this video makes the playtime longer is I literally interact with every object in the entire level, just because, like I said, you know, I don't know. There is no roadmap, you know, I'm not following a trophy roadmap here, so you never know when you might pop a random trophy for.
Shut down the whole program.
Plus, again, like I said earlier, it just, you know, it adds a lot. They put things in there for a reason, you know.
Smooth as silk. You know, it had to be some kind of sabotage. You mix in political bullshit
And I feel like
poof,
it fits the
whole
game
program
too,
goes up
because the
in smoke.
detective's gonna pick up everything and look at everything that catches his eye, you know.
Hey, so
Thorough
he's interested
job.
in art.
Doesn't seem to be too much he's not interested in. He was there. That's his signature.
And look what happened to him.
You know, I was trying to come up with some way to describe the game to somebody if they asked about it, and from looking at the trailer, you might think like BioShock meets Cyberpunk 2077, but I mean, Yeah, kinda. Especially the Bioshock thing. The aesthetic is very much Bioshock-ish. Which, you know, I'm sure they were inspired by that. That's probably why they chose to make it everything kind of look, you know, stuck in the 60s, even though this is like 300 years in the future.
I mean, it could be him.
Could doesn't
But
cut it.
it's
You have to
more
be sure.
like, it's kind of just
This is
unique.
guesswork, James. I won't identify him.
If you ever
not
played
officially.
Observer, it's a little bit like that, the
I have an
gameplay
idea.
itself.
You won't like it.
This is a federal
But,
case, James.
I
We're
mean,
supposed to pull Green's Icarite, not someone's.
it's got its
Moving on to
own
reconstruction.
thing going. I mean, it's heavily like influenced by film more than games, I would say. Even some of the like dialogue, the character himself, it reminds me of Deckard in a way. Kind of even sounds like him sometimes from, you know, Blade Runner. I think that was what they were most influenced by. But I think this is where people got the idea that it might be like a Bioshock because of the thing on his hand, but it's not a power, it's a device, and it's used for a detective. Like, basically,
What?
you can, like, reconstruct time and
Something
manipulate
anomaly.
time
Who
to
cares?
find out
It's
what
Green.
happened.
Pull his Icarite and let's go.
So basically, you're going to want to use the... I mean, it tells you, but when there's a yellow light, you're going to want to, like, use the triggers to put the little marker in that place, and it'll open up an area, a bubble like that, where there's obviously something to discover and analyze. That's why I say use the hint thing, which is square. Pressing square puts in, like, hint mode, so you can see better, like, what to interact with.
Final death? Dead? Well, just... I mean, fix it. Just reconstruct it or something.
Sarah, listen. I've seen this before. Up close. Take a few deep breaths. Then we'll start looking for who did it.
We have to
By the
report
way,
this.
that's a
We have to. Anything
pretty
beyond that...
disturbing
it's...
murder scene.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Sarah,
supposedly it's a suicide, but
not doing anything.
there's
Got it?
obviously more to it than
not
that.
even here.
If only it were that simple.
Omega code 112358. Suspected murder. The right side of the body is more heavily charred. The tree must have exploded after he'd been hanged.
James.
So basically, the loop is following.
It wasn't just a fire.
You reconstruct part of the
Find the cause
time
around.
frame, timelines. Look at that. That's crazy. And then you'll find a clue that'll open up more of the reconstruction process until you have, like, a full timeline reconstruct. But you have to do it in phases, which I think is a pretty cool way, pretty cool gameplay function. And it's just crazy that you're free to move around and, like, see it all from a different angle versus, like, a cutscene, you know. It's pretty cool. See, this is... I'm still getting used to the controls here. And what it was I missed something. So that's why the hint... And this is just me getting distracted.
Huh.
I left it in just because it's kind of a
No,
cool...
Pegasi.
Sarah,
Piece of
that's a
lore.
horse. Pegasi are mythical creatures.
Some paleontologist you are. These days, horses are mythical too.
No, mythical animals are fictional. They never existed. Those forces are extinct, like dinosaurs.
Of course. Thanks for the lecture, Professor.
Hey, you asked for it.
James, end of topic. Let's move on.
Marcus Aurelius. Gladiator. Well, you know, not the gladiator, but the emperor at that time of that movie.
Someone with the president?
Oh, this is pretty crazy.
Wait, it's green.
Old shell.
Flip it over and you can see the year.
That's
2025.
Which
So this
does
guy
not change the
Green
fact that even
has
before
been
inventing
alive
the
for
Icarite,
like
he
over
was a big
300
shot in
years.
politics.
Pretty wild.
What the
Bicycle.
fuck is this?
A bike. Or rather, a wheel off a bike.
And people rode on it? How?
Like a motorcycle. But you had to push those things around and around with your feet to make it go.
Ouch. It's scary how
I love
we
the
know
little,
about the world before
when you
the
find
Icarite.
things from the past like that,
No wonder they don't teach this
they
in
don't know
school.
about, and just the little dialogue options and stuff it talks about. It's really
Wow. Key to
cool. Big little
city.
key.
I just wondered what one of those
See
looked
that
like.
reconstructor
What the
prompt keeps
fucking point was.
trying to push me forward, but yeah, that's really cool. Once you get the hang of it too, you can kind of like manipulate and slow it down. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so once you get in the bubble, it freezes because there's a clue in there that it wants you to analyze at that specific time.
The gel's flammable. It may have been a short circuit. Or someone could have
Gel
lighted it deliberately
that's
to
flammable
fight the
on the
source.
tree.
James, don't
Why would that be
fucking
there?
ignore me.
Seems like trees are not very common in this time frame. So now you get to use the X-ray machine. I mean, everything is just so detailed. The gadgets. This is pretty cool. This isn't like revolutionary right here or anything, but it's still a cool little thing. Gameplay feature.
Well, I can see you're having a great time.
Right. The main transformer's on the floor.
You know, if this game didn't have trophies, I probably would have opted to get it on PC. I bet it looks even better.
Shit, my eyes. It smells like a fucking distillery. Someone said
But
the
it had a
short
platinum, so me being me, I had to grab it on PlayStation. Also, I said it's $25. Well, I'm not sure when the sale ends, but it's actually 10% off right now if you have PlayStation Plus. So I paid $22.50 for it.
An asshole.
It's a steal.
100% sure.
I don't want to hear another word out of your mouth. You're going to drop whatever shit you picked up. You're going to write a clean report about a tragic accident. Got me?
You pronounced murder wrong.
You know, we really need to. This is an awesome example of what something that's been plaguing the industry for a long time.
I should have known better.
Games getting announced like 5-6 years before they're released, which I think really needs to stop. And this is an example of doing it the right way.
Found a file. It's got your name on it.
I feel like, because this game was barely announced in like March or no,
Get out of there now.
January. It was announced this year, and for it to already be out is incredible. And I don't remember, like I said, like this game caught my eye immediately, and I wish listed it as soon as I could, but I don't remember them doing like a release date announcement trailer or anything. It was like literally like 2 days ago, 3 days ago is when I found out it was coming out on the 17th. And that's just, I think the industry needs to kind of maybe take a page from this and stop announcing their games so far out, right? I mean, you want to build the hype for things like Wolverine and Wonder Woman, I get that. But I mean, those games, we've seen announcements from them over 2-3 years ago and heard nothing or seen nothing official on those yet, and the industry is doing that like constantly, and it really bothers me. Like, that's why I say I was pleasantly surprised that this came out so quickly after it was announced.
Okay, is this some kind of emblem?
That's not creepy at all.
It's starting to get interesting. Someone carved this date long ago. What's up with the snake?
Check the encyclopedia.
So now he's convinced fully it was a murder. You gotta get the proof. See, I just kept missing the clue. It's right there on the floor. And I just wasn't looking in the right spot. That light kind of guides you too. Like, if you look towards where the light is shining, it kind of like shows you what to look for. There it is. But again, using the hint thing, it would have, highlighted it better.
Cracked it and left a handprint.
Stop it.
This part's crazy right
Gotta
here.
stop this.
This reminds me of BioShock. Like,
What's he doing?
if you rewind it,
Great.
slow it down, he's just like
Now the question.
banging his head on the floor. Like,
Crack open that plate with his own forehead.
that reminds me of something you'd see in BioShock. Which, again, speaking of BioShock, that's another game announced like 15 years ago, it feels like, and we've seen not even a logo. We know nothing about it. Like,
Covered his tracks. Pretty damn skillfully.
So someone was
I don't know if that game. I love BioShock.
A tattle of the chief.
Infinite is my favorite one, only because
What's done is done. No point in picking at it.
I don't like silent protagonists. Like, I think we're like, well beyond that, right? Like, it was serviceable back in the day, but I feel like every game should have a talking protagonist now. But BioShock 1, I give it a pass because they wanted you to, there was a choice. They wanted the story to be told through audio files and stuff, so I get it. But Infinite's my personal favorite because the wonderful Troy Baker plays the main character in Infinite, and I just think they really nailed the gameplay in that one. A lot more fast-paced. The environment in the sky was incredible. The gunplay was tighter. Just a really good game. But yeah, that new BioShock. I just read recently that they're doing a bunch of hiring for writers and art directors, and I don't know, that the game was announced like 7 years ago, and they're just now hiring these people. So I don't know what's going on. That's one I'm just gonna kind of try to forget about until something official comes out our way.
Check something out for me, would you? I need to know about a drug called Prose of Life.
Introduced in 2208. It's based on fluoxetine.
An
But
antidepressant.
we will have Judas before that, and that's very much a spiritual successor to BioShock, because it is Ken Levine, the original creator of BioShock's new game. So I'm sure you've heard about Judas, but if not, check that out. And if you're a Bioshock fan, you'd be like, whoa, like it looks
Suicide.
very cool.
Probably some kind of relic.
To the best of friends, always
Pocket
auspicious
watch.
winds, green.
Not his pocket watch, so there was somebody else there.
I'm getting a bad hit off this thing.
It's a gift.
I wonder which one's the best friend now.
I wonder why a gift from Green is in his own home. Let's see what the patient has to say.
Just floating.
Matched to Green's blood type. He was fighting with someone.
Or he cut himself as he jumped.
Maybe. You learn fast. He fell from there. If he cut himself on the railing, there should be blood on it.
Looks like he was pushed, huh? If he had jumped, he would have been facing forward. This is barely I started realizing I can sprint. At that point, I didn't even try.
Blood. We'll come back to that later. Someone must have pushed him. No trace of blood on the railing.
So he didn't cut himself here.
You know, I haven't even looked at reviews on this game. I was already sold on it when I first seen it announced. And the gameplay a few months ago when they unveiled that. So, I don't know. I don't even know what the critics think of it, which I don't ever care.
So he was leaning against it?
I don't base my purchases off of that, off of reviews. I'll look at them just to kind of see a general consensus of them, but I haven't looked at a single review, so maybe I'll do that after.
It came from this side.
Maybe I'll do that after I
Reconstruction
finish
is
the game.
inconsistent. Someone must have been messing
Just kind of
with it.
see where it lines up with how I feel about it, because I think this game has the
Don't have enough
potential to
information
be,
find the other one.
you know, could win some awards. Not, you know, not Game of the Year, nothing like that, but it definitely does some things great. I think the writing is really good. The
Somewhere
voice
in
work
there,
is
the attacker slipped the
solid
rope around Green's neck.
to above
Well, in any
average
case, Green
at
didn't
some
jump.
points,
Someone pushed him.
and really good too. So there's a little inconsistency, I guess, with the voice acting, but it doesn't. Overall, I think it's pretty damn good, especially the back and forth between him and his boss and Sarah.
Wait, there's a blood trail here.
He must have gotten cut before the hanging. Do you have a UV lamp?
Now it's time to pull out
Don't
your
leave home without
final tool, detective tool. It's the UV lamp, which is also very detailed. This reminds me of Arkham. Following the trail.
He was walking up these stairs. Unusual
But
shape. He was
Batman is the world's greatest detective, so it makes sense. And earlier I was talking, but it looks like he's doing this all himself,
begging for mercy.
because it was erased. Part of the time reconstruction was erased to make it look like he did it all himself. Which is pretty smart. So this guy knew, the killer knew that they would send a detective with the time.
And here he scores a few
This
points.
is a cool little dialogue part
For
too.
what?
This engine can push a car up past 120 miles per hour. Running on
He's completely
gasoline
oblivious to how the
on
world
the
used to be.
ground.
You know,
Not
it's hard
him,
enough
but
to imagine driving on the ground
kind of. I guess they
at
both are.
120.
She knows certain things. He
No,
knows
I call
certain
bullshit
things,
on
and
that one.
their banter back and forth is pretty cool. Like this crime scene is pretty dang cool. I know a lot of the promotions, like trailer and stuff, was showing this, the burning, exploding tree. But if you think this is interesting, wait for the next one.
Another
That
trace of
one
blood.
Hit
is
it with the UV
crazy.
lamp.
See, I think it's cool too, like how you can only get so far with a specific gadget until you find a place in time where you can actually reconstruct more of the timeline by finding a clue.
Tracks
Like, I think that's a pretty brilliant way to have the gameplay loop. Smacking his head on the floor again.
You think he deserved what he got?
I do. And it still wasn't enough.
Shit. Sounds like you hated his guts.
Oh, please.
He's got something on his clothes. Some kind of chemical.
Huh. The
Unknown,
reconstructor's coming up goose eggs on its composition.
unknown substance
Rare as shit.
on him.
It stretches across the floor. I'll switch to UV.
Pull out the lamp and find out what that is. Oh, unknown.
Tracks lead this way. Looks like Green was rummaging
I'm
around
not
the
talking like
transformer.
I haven't played through this already. I haven't watched this all the way through, so kind of like I am experiencing it for the first time. Oh,
The cables are torn out. Same as the one around Green's neck.
You think he did it?
I think someone made him do it.
this part's crazy. That's what he hung himself with, or was hung with. Cables for that. Oof. Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
Oh, shit.
it's a lot of
What a
things to
fucking
do
mess.
for someone to commit suicide in a kind of wild way, too. Spectacle.
You know what I think?
For it.
I think it all looks exactly the way the perpetrator wanted it to.
Seriously? You're repeating yourself.
Ah, what do we have here?
There's something here.
James? I've lost visual.
He turned his camera off because he didn't want Sarah to see. Oof. That's freaking awesome.
Jay. Will you come back to me?
James!
And when he goes into
Where you at?
that mode,
I'm sitting on the crapper.
I don't know, that adds like a whole new dynamic to it as well. He's like a psychological thriller style because, you know, his wife's dead, and once he starts having those attacks that the medicine is supposed to cure, he sees her and she talks to him. It's just very unsettling, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And also, why doesn't she have a body? Why, you know what I mean? Like, why is she dead? I don't know. Maybe it'll probably. I'm sure it'll explain it.
I've been honest with you from the beginning, and I need you to never do anything behind my back again. We clear?
James. Okay. As long as you keep being honest with me.
And if you guys didn't catch it, the reason he's going through those,
We've got a deal.
having those
Now, come on,
attacks
move
is
before they
because the new body that he's in, he's only had for, I think, a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, and there's an adjustment period when you switch bodies according to the lore in this game. So it's kind of natural what he's going through, but it seems to be happening more frequently than it should be. He's kind of hiding it also from people. That's why he's not active duty on the force yet, because he hasn't been cleared. But yeah, so right there you're given a choice to leave the crime scene as is, meaning how it was when you got there, or keep it like noticeable that it had been tampered with. But I chose to leave it and rewind it back to the way it was before. And with that being said, that is the first part and first mission complete, so you should get the trophy here. Who's Afraid of Green?
God of a body, not my own. I can feel this case is nothing but trouble and heartache. And even worse, it's personal. A lit cigar pressed against a wound that never heals. That's me. The second time I've seen Icarite completely melted. Just when I got a little better at forgetting the first one.
Pretty incredible. So, thank you guys for joining me on this very special game to me. I hope you guys are enjoying it and liking the way that I'm putting it together. I promise the videos will be shorter as they go along. Part 2 is coming very soon after this is uploaded. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, and for everybody else, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.